Thank you so much for coming, whoever is here. All right, so this is the Quantum Wake. I'm going in to the history with water. I'm a part of Wake Water Co., and then I'm also part of my own brand, which is Quantum Spaces. And I am asking your consent to allow your consciousness to become aware of your breath with me. Allow your consciousness to be with yourself for 3 to 5 breaths as I speak aloud. If you can imagine each one of your cells, how much they love you and how much energy they provide for your body to keep it going moment by moment, day in, day out, how they're with you every moment of every day. It is so beautiful. I ask you that you remain open-minded. We're going to be learning some cool information.
It will be a different brand. It will be the Firestone. It's still under warranty. Is that cool?
To become aware of any limiting beliefs and to be present with me for the next hour. Thank you. I'm going to be going over the history of water. My name is Victoria. I go by Vita. I have a master's in his story from Cal State University of Fullerton. I'm a water specialist, human design. I'm a human optimization specialist and DNA blueprint activator, which is a human design analyst as well. We're going to be learning some cool things. I like to start off with, learning about the ways that we do learn and recognizing that when we learn something new, we are unconsciously incompetent about it. And, we didn't know before we know, and now, aha, there's an awareness. And it really, Keith, can you mute yourself? Then after we learn something new and we become aware of it, we learn to be consciously incompetent about something where we're like, oh my gosh, I actually don't know what I'm doing, but I can learn and I can change and I can grow, and other people are learning and changing and growing as well. So all together we are becoming consciously competent. So we help each other out when we become consciously competent, and we help ourselves out by, becoming aware of what we weren't aware of. You guys can do me a favor and mute right when you come in. I appreciate it. And then after you've been doing something for a while, being consciously competent about something, we become unconsciously competent about something where it's basically mastery. It becomes second nature, and it's just super easy to do. And so today we're going to be going over some information that you might be unconsciously incompetent about. So, why does belief matter? If you guys can take a couple seconds or a minute to look at the chart on the left and say the color to yourself, not the word, the color that the word is in. So obviously the first one would be green, and then red, and then blue. But as you guys are tuning into your mind doing this, you can notice that there's a little left-right conflict, which is called cognitive dissonance. Okay, so all of us were given a mental constructed reality, and we were given that from outside of ourselves. And in that mentally constructed reality, we're given our truth, our morals, our experience.
That's crazy because there's nothing wrong with it.
Sorry. Mute. Okay, let me just make sure. Perfect. Okay. Oops. I'm going to go back on that. Okay, so basically what we enter is something called cognitive dissonance, when that belief system that we have, that we've been given from outside of ourselves, when it starts to get told something that it doesn't know, it goes through something called cognitive dissonance, where your neocortex tells your body that you're being physically attacked, when in all actuality you're not. Your mind is just learning something new, and so it's going to shut down for a little bit and then rebuild with the new awareness. So I like to go over this because a lot of people don't even really know about it, and we go through it on a regular, especially with how much new information is coming out. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can go grow flowers or you can grow weeds. Energy goes where attention flows. Love of self is what grows. That glow is how it shows. So here we go. I'm going into the history of water. Obviously, this is a picture of what the world used to look like. And why I'm going into this is because there's a huge focus in today on so many things. On basically, the focus is on people's belief systems, getting people to choose to believe something and then fight for it. And I'm not here to tell you to do that. I'm here to just give you some information on some cool information so you guys can make your decision. So the world, the land, it used to look like this on the top left. We called it Pangea. Now, if you think about it, people were everywhere, all on that one land. They were all the same color. I'm going to go into something that's called melanin. So melanin is it's an aspect in our skin that when you have more melanin in your skin, you're able to get darker. You're able to have a darker skin tone. So melanated people, they're usually like black people or darker people. I'm just going to be going over something that's going to be taking a completely different perspective on things. So melanation is darker skinned, non-melanated is pale skin. And in Pangea, everyone was pretty much in the center. And so everyone had a lot of melanin. They had a deep ability to be very dark skinned. So as the earth split due to the tectonic plates, due to experience, due to everything that's going on, the world starts to create, and it does start to separate. And because of the waters going in between the lands, they needed to, well, in their own systems, their own lands, they all created their own belief systems. And even though they were all the same, they're all the same people at one point, the land split, so the environment split, so the brain split, the oneness split, and they created their own belief systems. And these are the main three empires that were actually running the world for a pretty decent amount of time. All three empires can be considered Moors. Moor is a term that means from the land. As you can see, all of these people from these empires are melanated. They are dark-skinned, okay? History in our thoughts, connecting all the dots, okay? So when Spain and Portugal decided to send Christoph Colombo to India, they knew that it wasn't going to be India. They already knew that it was America, and they already knew that there was an entire empire there. And so they didn't actually go there with a bunch of African American slaves. They didn't have the ships. Basically, our history, American history, has been taught incorrect. And there were not African slaves that came with Portugal or Spain to the Americas. There were missionaries. There were There was religion, and there was a belief system. There was a belief system that believed that its beliefs were better than anybody else's. Simple as that. And so between 1493 and 1820, Spain and Portugal actually sent 15,585 missionaries to the Americas, and their main focus was to get American Indians to baptize in the name of the Christian church. We were taught that their main focus was skin color. It was not. Going over here to the hidden messages of water, Dr. Emoto performed a series of experiments proving the physical effect of the information on the crystalline structure of water. We are made of crystalline structure water. So basically, this is water in our body before a prayer, after a prayer. So you can imagine that American Indian gods were made into Catholic saints to get Indians to agree to baptism. So prayer was a huge part of all three empires' realities and belief systems. So basically, when Portugal came over, their focus was not skin color, it was baptisms. It was to get the other empire to baptize in water with an intention set to take over a belief system. To not take over it per se, more of reprogram a newer belief system. I will be going over how and why intentional baptisms were important and how it is still affecting us today. And just so you know, these are some pictures to let you guys know, like, so Abraham Lincoln apparently set the slaves free in 1862, 1863, but he didn't really. What he did is he actually created citizenship, which citizen means slave. So anyone who is a U.S. citizen is a U.S. slave. And so this is the 1868 Louisiana government. And as you can see, it's filled with melanated people. Filled with it. Because remember that no one was actually white. No one was. Not even George Washington. That's why you can't actually, I haven't met anyone with the last name of Washington that's white. I don't know if you guys have, or Caucasian, or whatever name they call it. This is just some information. This is what black used to mean. Black used to mean pale, to become pale, to turn white, to become black, to blacken, to bleach, to lighten. This is what it used to mean. Again, 41st and 42nd Congress, melanated, and this is around the time where, you know, we're informed that that shouldn't be a thing. This is in 1870. This is free white persons. So this is just going over that all of these were considered free white people: European Jews, Celtic, Scandinavians, Teutonic, Iberian, Latin, Greek, Slavic, Magyars, Lapps, Finns, Basques, Albanians, the mixed Latin, Celtic, Iberians, and the Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal. So, like, it's and North African inhabitants of Sicily. So all of these people had become free in the United States when the United States, like, during this time. So now we're going to be going into the skin and why and how baptisms and their intention, how they affect us. Our skin is our biggest organ. It takes in everything. And it goes from the skin, it goes to the blood and the lymph, to extracellular fluid, to the organs, the bone, the soft tissue, the kidneys, the liver, the intestinal tract, the lungs, everything. Everything is coming through the skin. And when you get baptized with an intention and with an agreement, it's almost like you agree to reprogramming your own subconscious mind to somebody else's subconscious mind, somebody else's belief. Why water? Well, water is the source of our lives. It's directly connected with our health, and paying attention to the kind of water that we drink and bathe in can have a greater influence on our health than any other one thing. Wow, fascinating. Also, 60 to 70% of our body is water. So, I mean, if you're drinking not good water, your life's at least 60 to 70% shitty, you know? So 90% of the blood is water, 75% of the muscles. We should be drinking at least 1 to 3 liters of water every day. Most people are struggling with that because their bodies don't want the chemicals that are in most water bottles. We'll be going into that. Did you know that water also works as energy, hydration, universal solvent, binder, astringent, cleaner, toner, disinfectant, sanitizer, and an emulsifier? I didn't know that until I learned. I was totally unconsciously incompetent about this. And now I'm so grateful that I'm not. Excuse me. So this is focusing on intention. There's a lot of experiments. You can totally research them, done online. This is water put in rice and sent love to it, neglected, and then sent hate to it. As you can see, the love rice has fermented and it could be wonderfully eaten perfectly. Neglected, it grows like it just doesn't look like I wouldn't eat that. And then the hate, when you actually intentionally try to hurt someone, it really puts some nastiness behind that, some mold and some fungus. It's just not good. So what is intention? Intention is our attitude and our attention. What we put our attention to, where attention goes, energy flows. So when we're putting our intention or giving our attention a lot to things outside of ourselves, we don't realize that our belief system becomes somebody else's intention from outside of ourselves. And if we don't have mindful awareness, our attitude starts to like shift, and our attitude comes from our temperament. It comes from like our temperature and how much we're loving ourselves and our intention. So it's all like kind of like a triangle thing where it's all, everything is everything, you know? But it's really beautiful when you start to give yourself attention. Water is everywhere. It's in the saliva we digest with. It's, you know, the view of the horizon is made possible because of the eyes, because of the lubricant that's mostly water in our eyes, our muscles, and then our muscles receive their instruction via nerve impulses, which are transmitted in water. Fascinating. So these are some daily problems. 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Many people have a lot of inflammation, pesticides, beauty products are affecting our bodies. They have so many chemicals in them. Majority of people are acidic. They have low energy, stress, trouble sleeping, sickness, and they're struggling with diet and exercise. And then there's the expenses to water bottles, cleaners, beauty stuff, and all that. This is a little side note before we go like deep into the water. I'm kind of into the stars. I am into the stars. I'm into everything. Everything is everything. And I just wanted to give you guys some information that I felt was cool. So the last time Pluto was transiting the degrees of Capricorn that it is right now was the American Revolution. The last time Uranus transited Taurus as it is right now was the end of the Great Depression. And the last time Neptune was transiting Pisces as it is right now was when the movement to end the war on color began, which was around the 60s. The war on color started around World War I. We are not in a time of things going back to the way they were time frame. This is a major turning point of a revolution that begins within each and every individual. So that means you. This is water in many lenses. A a lot of, money is spent on buying plastic water bottles for most people. It's a 16 billion per year industry. These are all processed water, bottled water, tap water, reverse osmosis, Brita, filtered water. It's all just processed. And it's not, I don't necessarily like to call it dead, but it's stagnant. You could bring it back to life, but it's pretty stagnant. What's in your water? Oh my gosh. I live in Costa Mesa. That's what's in my water, and it was nasty. So I'm super grateful that I have solutions to this. You guys can go to www.ewg.org and check out your get your water awareness, where you can put in the tap water national database. You can get your put your zip code in. So another problem is the environmental. There's so much plastic. So whatever we can do to get rid of plastic, let's do that. You know what I mean? How can we improve in all areas, help the planet, do what we can, and really love ourselves and save our money, time, and energy? Oh man, it's really cool. So this is a solution that this webinar is providing. Kangen water. Kangen means return to origin. So what that means is the water isn't going to be actually doing anything. It's you. It's you choosing to drink the water that has life in it, reminding your body that you love yourself, and your body starts to change, and your body starts to show you how much it always has loved you. And we were born knowing how much we were loved. So that return to origin is really big for our hearts. This water is actually totally scientific. They've been studying it for years. They even have books on it and stuff. There are places all over the world that already have springs that actually create living water. And Tecole, Mexico, Lourdes, France, Normanau, Germany. And what they did is they studied these areas because these people lived longer than anybody on the planet. People would travel all over the world for this water, and they'd even call it the fountain of youth. So they were studying, and what was common in all of the waters, it was structured, mineral-rich, crystallized, electromagnetic, conscious, had electrons, and filled with hydrogen. The Kangen machine is a medical device. It's used by leading hospitals across Asia. This is Dr. Hiromi Shinya. He actually created the colonoscopy, and he has seen and helped over like hundreds of thousands of people heal themselves from, terrible digestive systems. And so basically, he doesn't even represent the company, but he will not even see a patient unless they've been on the water for 3 months. So that just goes to show how much this water takes into account for a lot of things. It is also one of the top 10 products recommended for cancer prevention and cure. It's right there, beautiful and magic Kangen water. These are some books if you guys are interested in learning about water. These are some amazing books that can really dive deep. And there's the Masaru Emoto one, The Hidden Messages in Water. That one's really cool. So we're going to be going into the properties of the machine. They're microclustered and structured, antioxidants, and hydrogen-rich. First, it's structured water. So the thing about these machines is, I don't know about you guys, but when I used to drink Dasani water and I'd chug it, there would be like water slushing around my belly, and I'd be like, what is this? And I didn't know that there's different sizes of waters. And so this machine actually makes 3 different sizes of drinking waters, and one of them is the 9.5, which is the smallest. And so what this does is it makes it to where the liquid that you're drinking, the water, is a lot more bioavailable. So even if you're drinking it with anything else, coffee, pre-workout, anything, it will be enhanced than comparatively to drinking it to regular water, because the molecules are so much smaller and they can penetrate right through the whatever it is that you're drinking. And so as you can see in this picture, it can penetrate right through the cell wall. So that's why these having microclusters, it's basically what it does. It's like having a chain link fence, and instead of throwing a softball at it, you're throwing marbles at it. So it's the marbles can go right through the chain link fence, whereas the softball gets stuck. This is speaking of the water channels, and this is how this is how water goes through our cells. Basically, there's basically we have something called the interstitium, where it's not like when you cut your body open, there's like water that gushes out, like, it's like, it's obviously blood. There's something called the interstitium on the inside, where it's like almost like the fourth phase of water. It's like a plasma. And so that's what's really like taking things through. And it's really important that in that plasma, that the water inside of it is structured, living water. Okay. Cellular hydration, the body can only absorb 15 to 25% of tap well, spring, and bottled water, and your body can absorb 85 to 95% of Kangen water. So it's literally 6 times more hydrating. It's crazy. This is a little video to show you guys how much more hydrating it is.
It's really important for athletes. It's really important for dealing with brain fog. And of course, with the detoxification, it's really important for losing weight and for feeling better, because toxins, let me get a little help there. Toxins sit in our cells. If you can't get them out with your water, what did my skeptical husband say? He said, well, it's not fair, the tea bag was already wet, right? And isn't that cool? That's showing you the superior hydration, better detoxification of your cells. But just so you know, that we weren't, cheating, and it wasn't because the tea bag was already wet. We'll go back to the Dasani. You know how when you feel really bloated or your stomach feels really full and sloshy with bottled water or tap water, you're drinking a lot of water? It's because it's sitting in your stomach and not actually absorbing into the intestines. To give you a little dose of science, the Kangen water, between the good alkaline minerals and the antioxidant, it can open your caloric valve and go straight into the intestines.
Sweet. So yeah, that's just
really important for athletes.
That's just to show you, as you can see, we are structured water. So it is super important that we're drinking water that is capable of penetrating through our cells to get to our brain, our kidneys, our lungs, our eyes, our heart, our muscles, our blood. It's very, very important. This is what healthy cells look like, filled with structured water. And this is what unhealthy cells look like, filled with pollutants and chlorine and whatever else nasty stuff they put in the waters. So free radicals, we pick them up all the time: ultraviolet rays, atmospheric pollution, stress, poor diet, trying to solve problems that don't matter to us, trying to prove ourselves certain, constantly trying to improve ourselves, all that stuff, just creating all kinds of crazy stuff on our cells. These are causes of bad free radicals. Why am I going into free radicals? Oh my gosh, because Kangen water is actually molecular hydrogen is actually a selective antioxidant, so it specifically goes after bad free radicals. So as you can see here, antioxidation is like when you cut an apple in half and it starts to turn brown, that's because it oxidizes. It's because oxygen is has gotten into it, and so it's aging. As we're living our life, we also oxidize. So it's super important that we're getting an antioxidant into our bodies. This is the representation of a kind of like a cell, how it works. The bottom is the healthy part, the blue part. The top part is like basically where the bad free radicals are, and then the H2 is the Kangen water coming in. So the H2 can come in and it like neutralizes only bad free radicals, including cytotoxins. So if somebody's even on chemo and they start drinking this water, like it really helps their body fight the cytotoxins, so their immune system has a chance to fight the chemo. But it only goes after the free radicals that are not beneficial to us. So it's really cool that hydrogen is a selective antioxidant. This is an oxidation reduction potential chart to explain. This water is a higher pH, but the thing is pH is potential of hydrogen. It tells you potentially how much hydrogen a liquid can contain. It does not mean that there's a bunch of hydrogen in it. So what this chart is informing you is how much hydrogen in it is in something. So negative 400 is meaning there's a lot of hydrogen because there's a lot of electrons, which are negatively charged. And then positive is high oxidation, meaning aging, inflaming. So we're going to go into a video that shows you the differences.
This is an ORP meter, which literally measures a liquid's potential to reduce oxidation. The more positive the reading, the more oxidizing or inflammatory the liquid is. The more negative the reading, the more antioxidizing and anti-inflammatory a liquid is. We'll go to Propel. This is actually the same as vitamin water, Gatorade, Powerade, any sports drink. Oh, 400s. Going up and down there. We got Sprite. We all kind of know that soda's bad for us. Diet sodas, by the way, and dark colored sodas are in the 500s. The Sprite is right around 436. We got Kangen. And it's been
Sweet.
This is an ORP meter.
All right, so the other thing that it is hydrogen-rich alkaline water. So like I said, the pH is potential of hydrogen, and the Kangen comes out to, we're about to show you, it comes out to very high alkalized, which we've learned that acidosis and hypoxia are the basic conditions that all forms of cancer are characterized by, which is a lack of oxygen. And so Dr. Otto Warburg discovered that the root cause of cancer is an acidic environment. So when healthy tissues are alkalized, they cannot cater to cancer or any type of dis-ease. This is the alkaline water scam, just to inform. Alkaline with an N does mean chemical change. Alkalized with a Z means electrical change. So when you turn the essential water bottle over, it informs you of the chemicals that they put in there. It's like magnesium, phosphate, different types of chemicals, but they're on the back. And basically, it's just baking soda. So that sucks. Our cells don't like that. So here's to show you the Kangen as well for the pH.
If you look at the pH chart, it's about a 4, and then typically pop and sports drinks are right in between a 3 and a 4 pH. When you got your Kangen, this is actually the 9.5 water, but the machine can make 8.5, 9, or 9.5 so that you don't detox too quickly. A fun little trick I want to show you guys. I pulled the Kangen water here. Let's say you've been drinking bottled water for a long time, and you're like, okay, well, how long could it take for the water to kind of help my body? Well, I drink Kangen, drinking the Kangen water. But, you guys, sports drinks and sodas are so acidic.
Yeah, so that's to show the potential of hydrogen, and Kangen is super high because it has a high potential to have active molecular hydrogen in it. This is a little bit about the company, Enagic, the company. It's been around for 46 years. It's a private company. They use original equipment manufacturing, which means that, as you can see, each of their machines is made and checked by people. It's not made by machines. They're a recognized industry leader in the Better Business Bureau. They have an A+, numerous industry awards and endorsements, and they have the highest manufacturing standards in the industry, and they're a certified medical device in Japan. So our engines, compared to other engines, ours are platinum coated titanium plates. We have the Water Quality Association seal, and we're consistent high power and best quality ISO and MIT engineer approved. The other engines are mesh plates, and so they end up, you know, rusting and end up leaking stuff into the water. Our machines are platinum coated titanium, and why they do this is part of the ionization process, because platinum is actually an amazing molecule, or whatever it would be called. I don't even know, metal. Yeah, so basically when electricity is flowing through platinum on a regular basis, everything around it, platinum becomes a platinum alloy, which changes the molecular structure of everything around it. So as the water is going over the plates and electricity is going through the plates, the molecular structure of the water is being altered and changed into its negative OH and its positive OH, and then it spits the positively charged stuff out the bottom, and then you're drinking negatively charged H3O2, which is hydrogen gas inside of water, which is really the same thing as walking barefoot outside, you know, grounding and stuff. That's hydrogen gas that gets us to feel better, you know, not think as much. The earth creates free hydrogen gas, and so this machine is providing it through the insides, through our water. So we're drinking it. And H3O2 is also the same structure of water in fruit. So yeah, these are the different waters that the machine makes. It's good for body, beauty, cook, clean, plants, environments, and pets. Why is this so important? 11.5, you guys, this is one of the coolest water. It can emulsify oil. It can remove pesticides, stain remover, degreaser, makeup remover. Oh my gosh, it's so fascinating. Where I'm vegan, and so even when it comes to places that say their stuff is organic, there's still a bunch of pesticides that come off. So it's fascinating. I did a little research, and turns out organic just means that it's organic pesticides. The real effect of pesticides, it's a lot of cancer stuff, nervous system damage, birth defects, toxic to wildlife, male sterility. There's a lot of stuff on our food. When women put on makeup or lotions that have all those chemicals on the back, and when men do it, these are all the things that are in them, and there's way more than just this. These are just pretty harmful ones. We also have, it makes the 6.0, which is the beauty water, which is really great for toning. It relieves dryness, any kind of skin blotches you have. It's really cool because the 6.0 really tones it out, because it's the same pH as our skin and our hair. Our skin and our hair don't like alkaline water, and so a lot of people don't even realize that with their showers, they're actually taking a lot of chemicals in, because their tap water, their source water is usually alkaline due to how many chemicals are in their water. It also makes the 2.5, which is an amazing disinfectant, which you guys can see here. It's been used for psoriasis, eczema. You guys can totally research this and check this out. Like, this 2.5 stuff is amazing. Like, mouthwash, athlete's foot, strep throat. Oh, before I went vegan, I got food poisoning one time, and I drank it and totally killed it. It was great. It helps with a lot of things. But here's more about the 2.5, some before and afters. Oh, and it's really good for skin type of regiments, like if you have like a pimple or anything like that, like this woman on the top left, I'm not sure if those are pimples, but yeah, they work really great. One time I had this like huge pimple coming in, and it was like one of those ones that like comes in from the depths, and I was just spraying 2.5 and it never even came up. It just ended up killing itself. It was great. Kangen pets. I have a dog, so I mean, me personally, I didn't realize that this is actually a video, so I can make that a video next time. Kangen pets. I have a German Shepherd. My dog totally likes 8.5, but you can put the different waters out, and the dog picks the living water all the time. It's really cool. Installation is super simple. You can go over the counter, under the counter, in the bathroom. You can take it on a plane and travel with it. You can put it in any hotel bathroom. The machine comes, it's an international company, so it does come with a lot of diverters that can fit most faucets throughout the entire world, which is pretty cool. These are the three most commonly purchased machines. They're also a full tax write-off. The scientific name of this water is electrolyzed reduced water. The difference between the SC501 and the SC501 Platinum is only the stainless steel look is different, and then the K8 has one extra plate on top of the SD501 and the SD501 Platinum, which actually allows the K8 to make 30% more antioxidants, which is really cool. This is a reminder about your belief systems, to touch base back on that. What are you thinking? What are you drinking? What are you being? What are you saying? What are you feeling? And what are you listening to? Really asking yourself about these things, because these are the things that are creating your belief systems. And I believe it's important that you are the one that is creating your belief systems. I don't believe it should be things outside of you. And it's okay if the belief systems that you create are different than others. This is the end of this lesson. I'm not going to be moving forward on the business today. But if you are a prospect of someone here, thank you so much for coming. You can let the person who invited you either let them know 1, 2, or 3, which is 1 is pay in full, 2 is apply for $55 per month financing or down payment option, which the down payment option is anywhere from $900 to $1,400 down and $150 to $180 a month for 24 months, depending on the machine that you invest in. And then 3, this information is lighting you up. You would like to integrate this cool information and be followed up with whomever invited you. I mean, obviously you're gonna let them know about the 3, but then they will follow up with you and answer any questions that you have. So thank you so much for taking this time. I love you all, and yeah. Thank you.